For a sense of what's happening with the storm on the ground in Florida, we turn back to our correspondent Steve Harrigan, who's in Sebastian, Florida. Steve, what's the latest?
Megan, three threats right now. First, the rain is coming in sideways. Second, the wind has picked up. We've seen 40-mile-per-hour gusts this afternoon, then 50-mile-per-hour. Now we're hitting 60 miles per hour. So we're seeing small trees and limbs come down. But the real threat isn't going to be the number. It's going to be that black water behind me, and it's rolling up steadily. The real threat could be from a storm surge anywhere of 3 to 7 feet. That's what's got people concerned here. The other thing they've done differently now, several counties issuing a curfew. There are really two main concerns. With this new wind burst knocking down trees, knocking down power lines, there are power lines down. There's concern about the water and the power lines together. And second, a concern about looting. You have 1.5 million people who've been told to evacuate, many leaving their homes behind. There's real concern in several counties about the possibility of using this tragedy as a means for looting. They want to make sure it doesn't happen. So for two reasons, a curfew in effect at 10 o'clock for several counties across Florida. Megan?
Steve, there were some complaints that the highways were too packed for people to evacuate, those under mandatory evacuation orders. Are the shelters there full? We're told some 7,100 people are in them tonight in that area.
There are more than 100 shelters opened up. When the first ones filled up, they had to open more. It's clear that's not going to be enough for people. There were shortages throughout the day, long lines at Home Depot, 3 hours long. I went to Walmart, no water on the shelves. Even the expensive stuff was gone. As far as the highways go, though, if you do look at current pictures of I-95, not a car on the road, and good reason for that as well. There's really a sheet of water on those roads and the heavy rain being blown around. You do not want to be on the move right now in Florida, and many of those shelters that were open earlier have now closed their doors. They don't want people moving around in this. The next 4 to 5 hours could see, if we get the storm surge as predicted, water well over my head, 5 to 7 feet here, with the waves on top of that. That's what could kill people. That's what the governor has warned about. 250 people dead in Haiti from this storm. A similar storm 10 years ago in Florida killed 25 people in this state. $30 billion worth of damage last time. This one could be worse. Megan?
And they just, as you were speaking, updated the death toll in Haiti to 283 people. 283 people are dead in Haiti as a result of this storm. And your sense today, Steve, as you walked around, obviously given the differences between the situation in Haiti and that in Florida, of people's sense of urgency. Did they understand? Because we always see the holdouts saying the weathercasters overblow this, nothing's going to happen, I've ridden out every storm and I'll ride out this one too.
You do see a lot of those sound bites. They get a lot of attention. You always see the people surfing, but I got a very different impression from people I talked to today and saw in the hotels here today. It's a major heartache for people. People who've put their life savings into their homes now fear losing them. One first responder told me, I know I'm going to lose my front porch. I just hope I don't lose my whole house. So you have people there out tonight trying to save people and knowing at the same time they could lose what they've worked their whole lives for. I think people, on the most part, taking this very seriously, facing a life threat on the one hand and a real financial threat on the other, Megan.
Because you think, a lot of folks think Palm Beach and they think of the beautiful mansions, they think of places like Mar-a-Lago, the Breakers. It's not, West Palm Beach isn't like that at all, and this area that you're in, it's not necessarily ritzy and rich and full of big mansions. There are a lot of more humble homes that are very much in danger.
You're right, and a lot of people mentioned to me, you know, I would always call them mobile homes, but a lot of people who live in them and own them were calling them manufactured homes. And those were under mandatory evacuation. And a lot of those people in manufactured homes realized they could lose part or all of that home, but they still did what they could to take what they could out of those homes, board them up as well as possible, and try and save their lives. Move to higher ground in hotels, which are now booked up across the state, or to relatives to try and get out of the way of this. I think people here are taking this deadly seriously, Megan.
Nearly 25,000 people are without power in Palm Beach County alone. They are there. Those who did not evacuate in the darkness as the winds increase around them and the eye of the storm creeps ever closer.